guys, it is Wednesday and I'm doing my Ask Ivy questions today, and I wanted to answer a couple questions. I got a lot of questions from you guys and I'm so thankful that you took the time to submit a question for me, and I'm just really amazed at all these awesome questions, and I'm excited to help out if I can. So the first one that I got is from Linda Secor, and if I say anyone's name wrong, I'm so sorry. Okay, so Linda's question is, how can I see what I want to do in my head, yet can't transfer it to my hands? I can so clearly see something, but when I start painting, it's totally different. Okay, Linda, so I think a lot of us experience this for sure. You know, we have this image in our mind and it's like, oh my goodness, I have to paint this. It's going to be so amazing. And then when we go to do it, yeah, it doesn't always come out the way we picture it. So there's a couple things. Depending on how you want to approach your painting, you can be open to that and look at that as a good thing. Sometimes we have this concept in our head, but then when we go to paint, you know, things change and things emerge, and that can be a good thing, actually. That can be kind of your creativity working itself out in the actual physical process of painting. And I think it's important to be open to that. I think it is probably a little misleading to think that you're going to be able to get this image that's in your mind and put it exactly down on paper, because there's a lot of things that's going on here. You're dealing with, you know, skill level. You know, be realistic with your skill level. If you have this image in your mind of this super hyper realistic face, but you haven't been drawing faces for very long or painting faces for very long, you know, that might be a hard goal to reach right now in your process. Or perhaps you see, you know, this amazing color, but then when you use your acrylics, the color isn't as intense as you saw it in your mind, and you know, there can be some reasons because of the quality of the paint or the substrate you're using. So there's a kind of a physical mental translation that happens when we go to physically paint our painting. Now on the other hand, if you really have a concept in your mind and you want to try and nail it, it's going to take some planning. And this is something that we did in art school back when I was studying illustration a lot. You may have heard of the term thumbnail sketch. Now, I haven't done this in a long time. I think I kind of rebelled from it for a little while because school burned me out a little bit. But I have to say, looking back now as a much more mature adult, that the process of planning a painting, if you really, really have a strong concept that you want to convey, is extremely useful. So a thumbnail sketch is a little sketch, like a thumbnail, but usually about, you know, 4x4. You could even do 2x2s if you really wanted to. And you just basically, you're setting your composition, you're jotting down your idea in a very rough form, and it's like a little visual note. And you could do several of them. And what we used to do was maybe, you know, 6 thumbnail sketches of our concept until it seemed like we had sort of a plan that was matching our idea in our mind. And then secondly, then you go into, you know, research. And I'm a big researcher, and it's really important to have a reference. If you, let's say in your mind you want to paint this woman riding on a golden bird. Okay, great, that sounds beautiful, sounds like a great project. But then you start going, well, what does the golden bird look like? And what does a figure look like when it's riding a bird? And what is the girl's face going to look like? And all these things, right? So that's when you need to go into research mode and start looking for reference images. Maybe go to Pinterest and look up golden bird or eagle and print out pictures and images that can help you to sketch and study that subject so you're more familiar with it when you go to put it on canvas. And then really you can start doing a much more elaborate design of your painting and do a sketch of it. Or a smaller scale, you could reduce it but have the same proportions and do a really detailed sketch, because now you have your reference images that you can draw from. You have your thumbnail sketches, so you're kind of familiar with what your composition and your layout's going to be. And you can start bringing all those things together. And that way you can hopefully reach a place that matches a little bit more of that idea that you had in your head. And so that canvas will represent your concept a little stronger. I think the most important thing in the creative process is to know it's not linear. It's not like, okay, I'm going to start at A and I'm going to get to B. Like, there's lots of kind of crazy, wavy, cool stuff, annoying stuff, frustrating stuff that happens between those points. And so I think if you go into creating in a realistic manner, in a gentle manner, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with your ideas, and be gentle in the process that you enter into. So I think the best way to do this, Linda, is to really think about how comfortable you are to surprises with your creation. And if you're not, then go the other route and really try and plan your painting, research your painting, get references for your painting, and then hopefully you'll have a more successful outcome. I'm going to answer another question, and this one is from Phyllis Riley. She says, do you have any tricks or ideas for finding inspiration or unlocking imagination? And for me, you know, my imagination is crazy. My mom always used to say that I had the craziest imagination ever. I was constantly like scared of something or completely enthralled with something, and it usually came from books and movies, and I always find a lot of inspiration in those things still. So I would say if you're looking for inspiration, get outside your norm. And that could be really getting into a book that takes you to another place, another time, watching a movie that is very transportive, or getting out and walking in nature, take a nice long hike, take a drive somewhere you usually, wouldn't go, or maybe you've always wanted to explore. Those things really help me. I love going to bookstores because I love just seeing covers on books and picking them up and reading little snippets of things. I love magazines and flicking through them. There's so many visual images that can come up. This, of course, Pinterest is, super fun and just amazing resource of inspiration. And, keeping a little journal or just a little book near your studio space or near your bed, so that when you have ideas that come to you, jot them down so you can go back and visit them. And sometimes just going back to those ideas and being like, oh, I remember when I had that idea. That was so cool, and I never really did anything with it. Well, maybe it wasn't the right time for you to act on it, but it came to you for a reason. So I think it's really important to document those moments of creative inspiration, even if you don't have the time to act on it, at that current moment. I think that learning is really, really important to inspiration. I often will find myself watching other artists create. I'm a huge online art junkie myself. I have over 15 online classes that I'm taking from various teachers. And if I'm feeling really in a creative rut, I love watching other people create. I think that sparks me, and that makes me want to jump up and grab my paints. So yeah, there's inspiration all around you. I think it's really about making the intention and the action to go seek it out, and just taking note of when things come to you and writing those things down. So hopefully that helps. I have a lot more questions here that I'm going to look forward to answering, and I will answer 2 or 3 more questions next Wednesday. I love having our community together. It's so special to me. I love getting on there and seeing all your art and seeing you guys help each other and share in what's going on in your life. And I'm just so grateful for you, and just thanks for being a part of this community. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.